Welcome to the Rick Helps Real Estate Show. We try to make sense of this crazy Arizona market, and Pat is normally with me on Fridays at 3 o'clock, but he had to go to Chicago. He's going out there for a wedding. He was going to hook up, and he's at his friend's condominium that's got breathtaking views of downtown Chicago skyline. And his friend called and said, "Hey, I'm bringing a bunch of people over. See you in a few minutes." It's like, oh man. So anyway, I went in the drawer and I pulled out Cardboard Pat again. So he's here in spirit. He's not here on the live stream. And it would have been such a great connection. I mean, anything beats that connection he has in Chandler, right? Doggone it. I'm really disappointed in that. So it's an amazing view. It's just, it's all of the waterfront. And I can't even describe it to you. So we've been kind of salivating about that all week. And now you are just stuck with me and my handy dandy little chart here on the 7-day moving average. We have 12,600 listings on today. We'll have 13,000 by tomorrow. I put a little yellow line here to show you where sales are trending. These are the number of contracts, and the blue line is the number of homes that have come on during the past 7 days. And you can see that it's obviously going down. It's down to about 3,800. At one point, we were rocking around 4,100 homes. So, but the other thing to point out is that sales really have never been that strong. They've only been about between 32 and 4,000 units on a weekly basis. And that's what, and with the inventory being so short, we had a small amount of people out looking for homes, but still fighting over very few homes that were available. So it made it feel like sales were just going like crazy and everything was really busy. Throwing something at my dog to get him to quiet down. He's got one of these little bones here and he likes to hear it hit the floor. Anyway, so it made it feel like things were really busy and there was a lot of bidding going on. So sales traffic was there, but it was not brisk. So the impact of interest rates now on a sample size that small actually has a bigger impact. And we look at rates were running about 6.28 the beginning of the week. Feds came out, announced their 75-point increase, and then rates went down because, as you know, the bond market prices in anticipation, and they anticipated 75 points and they got it. They backed off a little bit. We're probably going to be hovering around here based on the charts that we see probably most of the month. Probably won't see much movement until maybe next month of July. So hard to tell. I mean, it's anybody's guess. You know, there'll be another round of inflation numbers coming out, and that's what's driving rates right now. So that's a tough one. On the Cromford Market Index, you can see that, you know, they're all red. All the cities are coming down. With them in particular, look at Buckeye 131.5, Maricopa 147, and Queen Creek. What I think is going on in those markets is more and more new builds are actually being listed on the MLS. So that increases the inventory. In fact, I'm starting to now get emails from builders. Rick, we're offering a 3% co-broke commission. So I like what Terry says here. Agents are going to print flyers and answer their phones again, right? You would think. That's the one thing that really surprised me when I got into this. I was a director of sales, and you know, if I didn't answer my phone from a customer and get back to them within 15 minutes, I was screamed at. And I can't believe how many people don't answer their phones. One of the reasons I think is in this industry, we get inundated with phone calls of somebody trying to sell us something, a new lead gen or this and that. So if we don't recognize a number, we probably let it go to voicemail. Active inventory up 17% year over year across the country. We're up in some parts of ours up 92% versus last year. But remember, we were down at one point to only 4,800 homes. Hi, Jackie. They should have never stopped. Sadly, they did. Take it back to the old days. Yeah, that's getting back to the comment about the new construction. I'm seeing discounts on some new move-in ready builds, at least from what I see on their websites. It's going to start showing up more and more. I'm going to share some numbers that show you what the listing count is that's going on. And then I also want to show you what's going on with regards to closing over list price and the contract ratio. The contract ratio is showing you how successful people are at that chart doesn't look like anything. I'm not going to show you that. Here's one I get all the time. Where are foreclosures? Way down here. Nothing's going on in that market yet, folks, and it'll be a while before you see anything there, if at all. So I'm not sure what we can expect in foreclosures because, again, 53% of the homes that are out there, people that own mortgages, have rates under 4%. It's going to take a real calamity to get them to want to give their home back to the bank versus sell it. So where's all this inventory and what's showing up? And if you're a buyer and you're sitting on your hands now, why? And I don't blame you. I'm just asking that rhetorically here. We got strategy in some markets here in Denver seem to overprice, then lower but overall price is still good. Is that all the perception of the deal? No, I think it's, sellers are the last ones to get the memo. The agent's probably telling them, look, it's, prices are turning. They're turning quickly. And in fact, in the Cromford data that we saw I'm going to go to, so let's see here. There was some news and commentary I want to talk on here real quick. And that is, they always try to predict the next month. And they said on June 15th, the pending listings in all areas show an average square foot of $309.24, down 1% from the reading in May 15th. Among those pending listings, we have 99.3% normal, 0.1 in what they call foreclosures and pre-foreclosures. Although the distressed segment of the market remains tiny, the number of pre-foreclosures has been growing over the last 3 months. Very few homes are going back to the lenders, as any foreclosure auctions are almost invariably successful. They get sold before the bank ever gets a hold of them. So they're saying that their midpoint average was off by just a few cents, and that we can expect to see that price increases in our market now are gone. So we've gone up about 13% so far this year. You can expect that to be the peak going forward, and that's what it looks like. Maybe my realtor's pushing me to get a house before rates are going back up, and I'm already priced out of qualifying for the loan based on my income. 90K, Arizona. Yeah, everybody's going to have a different story for that one. Jackie says, Tina Cromford today said we might start seeing is second homes and Airbnbs affect the market. I think we're seeing that, and we're seeing in Maricopa here, look at this. They are above 2019 inventory levels. I think some of that's probably new construction, but look where we went from 2020, 2021, had 84 listings in Maricopa, 75, and now you got 386. That's why they're almost considered a balanced market. And you get to Queen Creek, starting to see the same thing. We're almost back to 2019 levels. Now, does this mean we're going to see 2019 prices? Highly unlikely at this point. If people can't afford the average home, things will balance out. The home will start to come down. Wages will have to catch up. We're in very uncertain times right now when it comes to saying, how does normal math work in a market like this? Because we've never seen fuel prices as high as they are. And that's what's driving all of this. Fuel prices. I went out today. What's it? $5.59, $5.69. And that affects everything. Everything we touch, food, plastics, even the plastic that goes around this water bottle, everything we touch is affected by oil prices. And now you're seeing the alarm bells. Farmers can't afford to plant because they can't afford the fuel to put in their equipment. And if they could, they can't get the fertilizer. So it's going to be really interesting. Jackie said it's a lot of new construction, Tina said today. So new construction is showing up in those charts. At what price do you have to use a jumbo loan in Arizona? I don't know that off the top of my head. Jackie, maybe you know. Chandler is also seeing an increase in listings. They're not up to 2019 levels, but they are coming up. And then we have Fountain Hills is still way down here, as is parts of Paradise Valley. So they're way below. So those, what we consider luxury markets, they're not seeing a spike in inventory yet. It doesn't mean that they're selling quickly. It just means that they aren't listing as many. I thought it would be a good time to pull out this chart that I made, 647 and change, Jackie says, for jumbo market. B&G, higher gas prices would mean also have less incentive to move far out for cheaper prices. Still work in Phoenix Metro. Yeah, right now you just want to live across the street from your office. I mean, it's rough. There's times I think, I don't know if I want to drive there today. Had to drive to Scottsdale today from the East Valley, and I go, oh, I wonder how much that's going to cost me. I made this chart. So as you're looking at sitting out and you don't want to buy right now and you want to wait, you need to know what you're waiting for and what that impact is going to be on your payment. And that's why I've got this sheet here. And basically it's a mortgage loan calculator that I duplicated several different spots down here. And you can put in your purchase price. For giggles, I put in 500,000. I put in the interest rate of today, which is 6.2, and it gives you your monthly payment. And I assumed a 20% down, although you don't need 20% down for the purposes of this calculation. I'll look up Gilbert in a second here, Ryan. That's what I used here for this example. Now, for you, here's what I'd like you to do. I want you to enter the price change. So 500,000, you're saying, I'm waiting. I think prices are going down 25% next year. Okay, so put that there. And put in here in the yellow box what you think the interest rate's going to be. So let's say it's going to be 8%, because a lot of you have said, I think we're headed to 8%. So put that in there. Your payment will go down $249 a month even after it dropped from 500,000 to 375, you're saving $2 and some change. Now, if the interest rate stays at 6.2, you'll save $612, providing it goes down in value by 25%. Then you can leave that alone. Then you can go down here and say the same scenario, 6.2, 5% price change. How much do I save? So you can kind of walk through yourself and look at what you're going to see. If you think prices are going down, if you think they're going to level off, if you think rates are going to come down, or you think they're going to spike, use this so that you can say, well, here's what I think is going to happen. Now you know, bottom line, this is what's going to happen. So if you're looking out and you say rates are going to be at 8%, you no longer have to guess. You can say, well, I know that if prices go down 10% and my interest rate goes up to 8, then this is the difference. I'm going to have I'm going to save $400 maybe on my payment, or $150. Hard to tell, but I want you, encourage you, just email me at rick@rickhelps.com and I'll shoot that right out to you. I also, I won't spam you. And those of you that have asked for that spreadsheet report know that I don't put you on any kind of a list. Now, if you sign up on my website, yes, you'll get put on kind of a list. Hey, I see you're still looking for homes, blah, blah, blah. And if you ever get tired of that, just click on the bottom, unsubscribe. You can do that with anybody that puts you on that kind of a list. But for this, you'll personally get the email from me with this Excel spreadsheet, and I won't bug you. Gilbert, you're creeping up to 2019. Last year at this time, we had 148 homes. Now we have 420. Wow. That's quite a bit more. And we got a long way to go, too. So Rick, on Cromford presentations, page 7 gives a good example if you're able to pull it up. I can't yet. Maybe I'll pull it up tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock when I have my Q&A. Thank you. The other thing that I like looking at, and I've seen this before and I've shared it with everybody, and that is extremes. Because I get a lot of questions, Rick, you're always talking about inventory. Prices can still go down if inventory is low. No, they can't. But inventory can go up if there's other things going on in the market. So let's give you an example. Right now, we've got 3,300 homes going under contract every 7 days. If that drops to our low that we had of 2,700, which is an extreme, let's see, I don't know if I can find it right here. But if we drop to that, then now you're going to be adding another 500 to 1,000 homes a week. Your inventory is going to increase because sales dropped. It's the disparity between how many items are for sale and how many people want to buy it is what changes prices. I don't care if you're talking hot dogs, gasoline, beer, or houses. If there's not enough supply and there's still demand, prices are going to go up. We had minuscule supply. Remember, for the longest time, We said we got 4,100 homes that came on and 4,100 homes that went under contract, driving prices up like crazy, 3% a month. Now you got 12,000 homes out there. You've got 5,300 homes coming on and only 300 homes going under contract. That's leveling off prices right now. As that grows more and more, you will see a difference in pricing. And in fact, the highest we've ever been in active listings is in 2007, 58,334 homes. We're at 12,600 now. Going to take a while to get there. What's causing the increase in inventory? Are people leaving for different states, downsizing or upsizing? Well, it looks like first there's kind of a wave going on here. People that bought 2 or 3 investor homes are getting rid of 1 or 2 of them. They're kind of limiting their exposure. They're thinking, well, this could get ugly. Let me get out from underneath this. We've got Airbnbs that are saying, I don't like what I'm seeing here. I'm going to get rid of my Airbnb. Great opportunity for you because 9 times out of 10, they include the furniture. And then you've got just people that are normally just selling. They're selling because they're moving out of state or they're downsizing or it's a divorce. Whatever the reason is, they have to sell. But because buyer traffic has gone down, it makes available inventory increase even faster. And here we have, let's see, a question. I did my new build contract October 21 with a base price of $480. Now they're selling the same model with a base price of $560 with a $20,000 incentive. Those numbers are going to start changing like crazy. I don't know what to expect on the new builds. I think I'm curious what's going to happen. The people that are priced out. I mean, you couldn't, you got yours. When say October 21, when do you lock your rate? When do you get to hang on to that rate? Because October 21, you were probably looking at 2.7%. Now you're at 6.2. I'm curious where you're going to land. Let me know. Toll Brothers website is still not decreasing prices in their newer communities. They might not have to for a while. August, everybody will be. Let's see. I'm not sure how they can change that, especially since lumber is dropping like a rock. So lumber is going way down. I think other materials are still hovering around high levels. Labor's going up if you can get it. So I don't know a whole lot about building and the math behind that. But the thing to watch for this summer is we're not sure at the rate of acceleration that we have on listings now. Christmas is going to be really interesting if this were to continue. And prices are definitely going to slide down, but I don't know by how much yet until I see those types of inventory numbers. Now, I know there's a lot of, as you know, well aware of, crash. You see it everywhere on YouTube. If we do get a crash, those guys are going to have to get another job because they're all done. They're nice guys. Some of them, I just beat them up a little bit. Would that normal historic low of 2,700 be an outdated comparison to the migration of people who moved into Arizona? Yes. I'm glad you asked that question, Katie, because that's the way I look at the listings too. The number of listings at 58,000 is our high, but that was 15 years ago. So what is considered high now? I'll bet you it's got to be at least 65,000. And that was in 2007. And then after that is when prices started to come down. Then we had the financial collapse and everything imploded. So Mr. Fuller here says, I'm sitting out for many reasons. One of them is spite. I don't want to fuel the continued greed. It's math. It's not emotions. So that's what I tell people in housing. Look, if the math works for you, do it. Greed. Look, if you want a house, you want a house. That's not greed. Now, if there's a lot of people out there buying up investment properties and Wall Street scooping up, the argument could be made that corporately there's too much greed, but there just hasn't been any place else for them to put their money. So they decided that real estate was the place they wanted to be. But I think we're going to need to see fuel prices come down here really, really quick. I don't have a lot of optimism for that. I'm not seeing anything on the horizon that's telling me that there are steps to take to get our fuel prices back in line. And if they don't, it's going to be a long, hot summer. I'm also seeing, even though I'm showing you some charts where things are down, there's some areas where this is still really brisk. There are sales going on out there. I can go out and look at a home and I could still be passing foot traffic. There are sales going on. It hasn't stopped. It's just adjusting right now. You'll hear people say, it's a shift. We're going to wring out excessive inventory and it's going to come back up. Just take that all with a grain of salt and just look at the numbers. Look at the raw data to see if you can figure out what's going on, because it's going to be none of this happens fast, although this did kind of happen fast in 5 weeks. Things changed like that. And if you're thinking of selling and you were thinking about it 5 weeks ago, you also kind of thought maybe you had time to think about it. And now you really don't. You got to put it on the market. I didn't lock the rate. Biggest mistake. My pre-approval was 2.75, and I locked the rate at 5.3. Oh, closing at mid-August, about 10 months. Well, there'll be a day when you can refinance again. I don't think there's ever going to be a day where you can refinance back down to 2.75. And I hate to say that, but that was a one-time. You're going to talk about that with your grandkids. I could have got a 2.75, or I did, but that party, I think, is eternally over. That was part of the problems of our housing market. I remember my dad telling me that he had a VA loan of 4%. And my jaw was like, really? Because I'm at 11 3/4. And so the disparity and the comparisons between the home prices and the rates and everything out there now, that whole bowl of soup is going to change. And love your show. Turn in every day. I'm an analyst by profession. The best out there. Katie, that's a greatest compliment I ever got on here. Thank you very much. I'm just spitballing. So I'm going to be on tomorrow morning. I'm going to do this on Saturdays when I'm not out buzzing around. But I just want to do a Q&A. Like right now, I'm kind of in presentation mode. Tomorrow, it's going to be nothing but Q&A. 10 o'clock, chime in. Hope to see you there. Have an excellent Friday night. And bye, Cardboard Pat. Sorry you weren't here.